Hi, you're on the Reddit Confessions channel. That night, the speakers were blasting some old-school remix of a song she once told me we danced to on our honeymoon. I didn't even recognize it. She did, because the moment it came on, she smiled, tossed her hair back, and grabbed his hand. I watched. I was holding her drink. She didn't even look at me. There were strobe lights, fog machines, and bodies pressed too close on that dance floor, but I swear, in that exact moment, everything froze except for her and him. She was swaying to the beat, her body moving like mine never existed. Like I never existed. She wasn't drunk. She wasn't confused. She was deliberate. He placed his hands low on her back, too low. She didn't flinch. She leaned into him like they had done this 100 times. Maybe they had. The people around me? Laughing, dancing, toasting. Nobody noticed me standing there, clutching a warm plastic cup and blinking through the flashing purple lights like I'd been hit by a car. You know what's funny? I wasn't even supposed to be at that party. She told me it was just work friends and really boring. I only showed up because I forgot to take my office keys out of her purse, and I needed them for an early client meeting the next morning. If I hadn't needed those keys, I never would have walked in. And I never would have seen that. When she finally did glance in my direction, it wasn't guilt on her face. It wasn't surprise. It was annoyance. Like I had ruined something. I don't know how long I stood there, but eventually, I turned and walked out. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't confront her. I just walked into the parking lot, sat in my car, and tried to remember the last time she danced with me like that. I couldn't. That's when I knew something had been dying for a long time. I had just been the last one to notice. And trust me, she would regret that dance far more than I ever imagined. I don't know what I expected after walking away from that dance floor. Maybe she'd follow me out, try to explain, even pretend it was all a misunderstanding. But she didn't. No footsteps behind me. No texts. No calls. I sat in my car for almost an hour with the windows fogging up from my own breath, her drink still in the cup holder, mocking me like some final souvenir of a night that shattered everything I thought I knew. I eventually drove home, stomach twisted in knots, not sure whether I was more furious or just humiliated. She came back after 2 a.m., heels in hand, hair messy, and not a single trace of apology in her voice. She tossed her keys on the counter and mumbled something about traffic, then went straight to bed like we were strangers just sharing rent. I laid there next to her, awake, counting the ceiling fan rotations and replaying the way her hand slid across his chest as if I had never been hers. The next morning, she made coffee like nothing happened. I asked her directly, who was that guy? Her eyes didn't even blink. A friend from work, she said flatly, like I was accusing her of borrowing someone's stapler. I asked if anything was going on. She laughed. Oh, Clive, she said, dragging out my name like I was some sad cartoon. You really need to stop being so insecure. And then she kissed my cheek like I was a puppy who barked too much. That kiss stung worse than any slap. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just nodded, sat at the kitchen table, and quietly folded her napkin the way I always do. She left for work. I didn't. I called in sick, though honestly, I was far beyond sick. I was unraveling. Later that day, I opened our shared cloud storage to upload a document I needed for taxes. That's when I saw a folder I'd never noticed before, titled simply, June. I opened it. Inside were 36 videos. None of them were of us. My hands hovered over the mouse like I was defusing a bomb. The folder was just sitting there, innocent in appearance, like it hadn't been hiding a dozen tiny explosions waiting to destroy me. June. That's all it said. Not work trip, not vacation, not even some cutesy couple thing like summer memories. Just cold, vague, detached. June. I clicked. The thumbnails loaded slowly, like my laptop understood the weight of what was coming. At first glance, it looked harmless. Videos of hotel rooms, some beach clips, drinks on balconies. But then I saw him. The same man from the party. He was in almost every frame. Shirtless. Smiling. Holding her waist like it belonged to him. I clicked one video, just one. I told myself I'd only watch a few seconds, just to confirm what I already feared. The video opened with laughter. Her laughter. Not the fake, social laugh she used with me when she wanted to move past something. This was her real one. The one I hadn't heard in years. She was filming him while he playfully pulled her into a bubble bath. Say hi to future me, she giggled. When I'm back home pretending to be a wife again. My heart stopped. That sentence wasn't just a confession. It was a verdict. She hadn't just cheated, she had planned to. This wasn't a mistake, wasn't some drunken one-night stumble. This was rehearsed betrayal. She had been filming her affair like it was a vacation montage, a highlight reel of her escape from the life she built with me. I shut the laptop so hard it nearly cracked. My chest burned like I'd swallowed fire. I wanted to confront her, to scream, to destroy everything in the room, but I didn't. I sat down on the edge of the bed, shaking, and realized something even worse than the cheating. She hadn't even tried to hide it well. Because she knew I'd never look. She counted on my silence. And that's when it hit me. She thought I was too weak to leave, too boring to fight back, too harmless to ever become a threat. She didn't fear losing me. Not one bit. But that was her first mistake. And it wouldn't be her last. The hardest part wasn't what I saw. It was realizing how long she had been preparing for me to never find out. That folder wasn't hidden behind passwords or decoy files. It was just there, like a test, like a sick joke to see if I'd ever grow a spine. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there beside her as she snored softly, her hand draped over my chest like nothing had happened. I kept thinking, how many nights like this had she come back from him, curled up against me, and pretended I was enough? My skin crawled. The next morning, I didn't say anything. I made breakfast, just like I always did. I even packed her lunch, same salad, same folded napkin with the little heart I always doodled. And when she kissed my cheek and left for work, I smiled like I wasn't unraveling. I needed time. I wasn't going to explode. Not yet. I started digging. Emails, receipts, location data, everything I never bothered to check because I believed trust was enough. It was everywhere. Hotel stays on days she said she was working late. Rideshare drop-offs to unfamiliar addresses. One of the invoices was from a spa resort 2 towns over. She had written client workshop in our shared calendar. Meanwhile, she was filming herself drinking champagne in a robe with Marcus. Yes, I learned his name. Marcus Hayward. Divorced. 41. Personal trainer. That detail stung more than I expected. I had spent the last year making peace with my average build, my desk job, my quiet evenings. I thought love was about safety, consistency. Apparently, she craved biceps and gym selfies. The deeper I dug, the more calculated it all became. They had an anniversary. Their anniversary. June 4th, same day as our engagement. I found a video of her toasting to new beginnings on that exact date. She wore the necklace I bought her 2 Christmases ago. In the video, she giggled and said, "Don't worry, he never notices anything." She was right. I hadn't. But now I did. Every smile, every night out, every excuse, it all lined up. The scariest part wasn't just that she lied. It's that she did it so naturally, like she'd never considered I might be human enough to break. That's when I stopped thinking like the victim. That's when I started planning. The plan didn't come to me all at once. I'm not some mastermind. I'm just a man who got tired of crying quietly in a locked bathroom while his wife texted her affair partner 10 feet away. It started with small things. I stopped initiating conversations. Stopped asking how her day was. No more folded napkins in her lunchbox. No more have a good day kisses by the door. She didn't seem to notice at first. Or maybe she did and didn't care. But I noticed something else. She got bolder. Left her phone out more. Unlocked. Maybe she thought I had given up. Maybe she thought I'd accepted my role as the boring placeholder while Marcus provided the excitement. That was fine by me. The more careless she got, the more information I gathered. I created a folder of my own. Only mine wasn't called June. It was called Exit. Inside, I compiled screenshots, dates, messages, recordings. I even captured her GPS history, showing she never once attended the client workshops she claimed to be running. I consulted a lawyer, a quiet, meticulous woman named Dina who never once blinked at my story. "Document everything," she said. Quietly, cleanly. So I did. And here's the part one haven't told anyone. I emailed Marcus. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I just sent him a message with one attachment, a photo of the engagement ring I had taken back from her jewelry box. No words, just the ring. He never responded, but I know he saw it. The read receipt came in 7 minutes later. That was the day Felicity came home and asked why her mother had called asking about a pending situation. I shrugged, played dumb. "Maybe you should call her," I said. "You've been so distracted lately." Her eyes narrowed. For the first time in weeks, I saw a crack in her confidence. Good. The next weekend, I told her I'd be out of town for work. I packed a bag, left the house, and checked into a small cabin 3 hours away. No service. No distractions. Just me, my laptop, and the final pieces I needed to set everything in motion. When I came back Monday morning, she was gone. Her suitcase missing. Her favorite perfume too. But what she didn't know was that while she was off with him, I had made one final update to our shared cloud. A folder called Play Me First. And inside it, a video I had recorded, looking straight into the camera. Calm. Measured. Telling her I knew everything. And that by the time she saw the file, her world would already be unraveling. Felicity didn't call me after she found the video. She didn't text, didn't storm in demanding answers, didn't even try to lie her way through it. Nothing. Just silence. For 2 full days. Which was louder than any apology could have been. But on the third morning, I woke to a knock on the door. Not loud. Just one of those timid, hesitant taps like someone hoping I wouldn't answer. I opened it. She was standing there in the rain without an umbrella, mascara streaked, eyes red. Her voice cracked. Can we talk? I stepped aside. Not because I owed her kindness, but because I wanted her to sit in the same living room where she once laughed at my surprise anniversary toast while secretly planning her next hotel escape. She walked in slowly, as if unsure whether the furniture would still welcome her. I didn't offer her tea. Didn't ask if she was okay. I just waited. She opened her mouth 3 times before words actually came out. I don't know what to say. I gave a small shrug. Then don't. That silence between us stretched into something brittle. Finally, she whispered, "It didn't mean what you think it did." That line. That ridiculous, tired, pitiful line. I almost laughed. Instead, I leaned forward and said, "Tell me exactly what part of it I misunderstood. The hotel receipts, the videos, the text where you said I was too dull to catch on. Help me out." Her face fell, like she wasn't prepared for me to be calm. She was expecting yelling, maybe tears. Not this flat, clear version of me. "Clive, I needed to feel alive again," she said. "I didn't know how else to." "So you killed someone to feel alive?" I asked. "Because that's what you did. You slowly killed the person who trusted you most." Her hands trembled. "I didn't plan for this to happen. Marcus wasn't supposed to be permanent." I finished for her. "But you created a shared calendar for your lies. You celebrated your affair's anniversary with my Christmas gift. You kept souvenirs. Filmed it like a documentary. You weren't reckless, Felicity. You were comfortable." She broke down then, sobbing into her hands like she was the victim in all this. And I'll admit it, there was a flicker of something inside me. Not sympathy, but pity. Because even now, even after everything, she still didn't get it. She thought she had broken me. But she didn't realize I was already gone. She stayed the night on the couch, curled up in that same position she used to take when we watched movies together. Only now, the silence between us wasn't cozy, it was suffocating. I didn't say much. I just watched from the hallway as she fell asleep with her phone clutched to her chest like it could protect her from everything she'd done. Around 2 a.m., I finally walked past her to the kitchen, grabbed a bottle of water, and stood there in the dark, thinking about how many times I had stood in that same spot, believing we were fine. How blind I had been. When morning came, I expected her to start talking again. She always talked. Even in fights, even in apologies. She wielded words like tools, shaping whatever version of reality suited her best. But this time, she didn't try to explain. She just looked at me while I made coffee and whispered, "I deserve everything coming." For once, I agreed. "That's the first honest thing you've said in months," I replied. She winced, but didn't argue. She asked if I wanted to talk about next steps. I told her I already had. I handed her a printed packet of legal papers, neatly stapled and highlighted. No screaming. No theatrics. Just boundaries. She flipped through the pages slowly, her hands trembling more with each section. "You're really doing this," she whispered. "You thought I wouldn't," I said. "You thought I'd fold. That I'd stay small. That I'd wait for you to come back and cry. And I'd hold you like I always did. That I'd be yours." Her silence was the loudest confession of all. I told her she could stay until the weekend to get her things. No more. No less. I wasn't interested in revenge. I didn't want some dramatic showdown. I just wanted my life back. And I think that scared her more than any threat would have. Because she wasn't prepared for indifference. She expected rage, maybe even heartbreak. But not this quiet, focused version of me who was already emotionally packed and out the door. She started to speak, but I held up a hand. There's nothing you can say that won't sound like fiction now. You spent years rewriting our story behind my back. This is me writing the ending. That afternoon, I changed every password, closed our joint accounts, and contacted the landlord to take her name off the lease. And while I was doing it, she just sat there, watching me like I was someone she didn't recognize. For once, she was right. I wasn't the same man anymore. And she was no longer my problem to solve. The day Felicity left, there was no dramatic farewell. No hugs. No second chances. She packed quietly, folding each blouse like she was trying to slow time down. I stayed in the kitchen, sipping coffee, scrolling through job boards, already thinking about what came next. When she walked out the door, she paused like she might say something meaningful, but the words never came. Good. I didn't need closure from her. I already had it. I'll be honest. I thought the house would feel empty after she left. But strangely, it didn't. It felt clean. Like something toxic had been scrubbed from the air. I started sleeping again. Real sleep. Not that restless, overthinking kind. I filled the silence with music I used to love before everything revolved around her preferences. I reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in years because she didn't vibe with them. I even adopted a senior dog named Baxter from the shelter, a lazy golden retriever who snores louder than any human I've met. We sit on the porch together in the evenings, watching cars pass, neither of us needing to fill the silence. And one morning, about a month after everything collapsed, I woke up and felt something I hadn't in years. Peace. Not happiness. Not yet. But peace. The kind that comes from knowing you finally stood up for yourself. That you chose self-respect over begging to be seen. Felicity tried to reach out once, sent a long email full of maybes and if-onlys. I didn't respond, because sometimes strength looks like silence. And healing doesn't always need an audience. So here I am, free. Not broken. Not bitter. Just rebuilding, brick by brick. And for the first time in a long while, the future doesn't terrify me. It excites me, because it's mine again. What moment in this story hit you the hardest? Was it the betrayal, the silence, the confrontation, or the freedom? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget, if you've ever felt invisible and finally chose yourself, you're not alone. This is Reddit Confessions, where the quiet ones finally speak.